Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And today we're going to do a posture called the Lord of the Dancer. So that's a standing balance. It can be done at any level of yoga, whatever level you are in your yoga practice, you can do this. There's different variations of it. But it's a wonderful way of strengthening the front line of your body, the thighs, the quads, and also strengthen your back. It's a back bending type of standing posture. And I will get your body prepared for that during this practice. We're also concentrating on our abdominals. This is our big thing for this week, or these 5 sessions. It's very, very important that we have a strong core or center of the core, which are the abdominals, so that we can stay healthy. You know, we can do the simple things of walking and basic things. So why the two go hand in hand, abdominals, work, exercise, and balancing, whether it's a arm balance or a standing balance, is that you need to balance, you need the strong muscles, abdominal muscles. And while you're doing balances, you're strengthening them. So they go together perfectly. So we'll be doing that for this session. And I wanted to just share the mantra for today, but read something first before I share the mantra. And mantra just means it's a positive affirmation that people use to help kind of take their mind out of the negative thinking mode that many of us are stuck in. So you repeat something over and over again, and eventually it gets absorbed into your subconscious, and you actually do start to believe it. So this is something I had taken from a publication. It's a Buddhist publication called Lion's Roar, and just a little snippet I took from it. It says, "Patience is not the absence of anger or the passive acceptance of harm. More than anything, we should understand that patience as a skill that allows one to pause long enough to see a situation clearly and then respond to it accordingly." So that is our mantra. Our mantra is, I am patient. For this, not only this practice, being patient with yourself, but also patient with during the day, or stopping and pausing and taking a moment, taking a deep breath, and not reacting to something. Taking a moment and then dealing with it. It's amazing how different we react when we do that. Okay, we're going to actually come straight onto our backs and take a moment before you even get settled into any type of exercise or postures. I want you to stretch through the arms and legs, feeling the length of your body, how the back feels when you're breathing in, and how the lower back feels as it lifts off the ground. It should feel pretty nice. And then the front of your body is stretching. As we center on the abdominal region, okay? Hug your knees into your chest, give yourself that hug, little rocks and rolls from side to side. And place your feet flat on the ground. Let's start with a few deep breaths, placing your hands on your rib cage. Index fingers are touching one another. Tips of the index fingers, middle fingers. Take an inhale. And as you inhale, the middle fingers pull apart, and then as you exhale, release, and the middle fingers come back together again as you draw the belly in. Inhaling, breathing into the rib cage, and exhaling, not belly breathing, but rib cage breathing. You might find this difficult, especially if you're new to this, and don't worry.
Just try, just do the best you can. That's all you need. Few little breaths in, let fill the rib cage, deep breath in. And now as you exhale, I want you to exhale fully, out, empty out through the mouth, go. And then take another deep breath in. Fill the rib cage and then go. As if you're deflating a balloon. And let's take one more deep breath in. And this time, as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Keep your right leg into the chest. Take your left leg, extend it. So similar to what we did in the very first session of this week, this sequence, but not quite the same. Hug your right knee into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knee. Now straighten your right leg up to the sky. Don't worry if it's not completely straight. Hands behind your heads, cradle your head into your hands, elbows angled in towards each other. Lay the head back down in the hands, into the hands. Foot can be flexed, pointed, whatever feels good for you. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift your elbows up towards that right foot or towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lower down, and then exhale, lift back up. Pull the belly in and up. Inhale down. This time exhale up, and then keep your hands behind your head or reach your arms up. Try to touch the ceiling with your fingers. Try and reach a little bit higher, reach a little bit higher, reach a little bit higher. Then hug your knee into your chest. Place your head down to the ground. Bring your left leg in as well. Little rocks and rolls from side to side. And then now keep your left knee in as close as you can to your chest. Lower that right foot down. Take a breath in and lift your forehead towards your knee. And you might find, I'm getting a little bit closer. And release the hands from the shin. Take your hands behind your head. Lower the head back down onto the floor with the head in your hands. Elbows angle in towards each other. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, left leg lifts up to the ceiling. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift your elbows towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lower down. And exhale, lift up. Pull up through the belly. Feel that work going on in your tummy. And one more time, lower down as you inhale. This time, exhale, lift up and either stay here or release the hands from the head and lift your arms a little bit higher. Breathe in and breathe out. And then as you exhale, the next exhalation, hug both knees into your chest. Nice, huh? Little rocks and rolls. If you want to circle around with those hips, loosening up those hips, and then go in the other direction. And let's place the feet flat on the ground. Let's do those anaphorous, it's called anaphorous abs. Place your hands behind your heads, elbows angle in towards each other. Feet are flat on the ground. You're going to take a breath in and lift your head and shoulders off the ground. Elbows pointing upwards and squeezing in. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone off the ground and exhale. Keep the tailbone up, elbows reach towards the ceiling so you're activating those transverse abdominis muscles, those deep abdominal muscles. And then lower the tailbone down as you inhale and just come to the upper part of your shoulders, not all the way down. Now, you can do this with the feet down, or for those who want a little bit more, you can come into a 90-degree angle, squeeze the legs together, and then lift your tailbone up, and then exhale, elbows reach towards the ceiling, look towards your tummy. Now, if you want to add on, you could straighten those legs. That's a little extra. Inhale, knees back in, and then lower the tailbone down and come back to the upper part of your back. Or you can always do this whole thing with your feet on the ground. I'm going to do this version. Lift your tailbone up, hold the breath, and then exhale, elbows reach up to the ceiling, look towards your tummy, and either keep them bent or straighten those legs. and then inhale back. In. Let's do 2 more sets. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone. If you need a break, hug the knees into your chest. Exhaling, elbows reach up, and then straightening those legs or keep the knees bent. I can feel this working. You can tell it's working around the solar plexus, just above the navel. One more time. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone and exhaling, elbows reach up and legs straight or keep the knees bent, and then hug your knees into your chest. Lay your head back on the ground. Little rocks from side to side. So we're targeting those deep muscles. Now we're going to place the soles of the feet together, knees open wide. And now we're targeting the superficial muscles, which are the rectus abdominis muscles. But those are the ones that help us exhale. They're very important in supporting the entire body. So hands behind your head again. This time let the elbows flare open, but make sure you could still see your elbows in your peripheral vision, and press the feet in towards each other. The soles of the feet are pressing into each other. Take a breath in, and we're simply doing a crunch. Lift up, and then exhale, lower down. We're going to do quite a few of these. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. As you exhale, belly pulls in. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And one more time, exhale down. And lay your head on the ground. Release the hands from the back of the head. Take the hands to the outside of those legs. Cross your ankles and squeeze your knees into your chest. Take a breath in, forehead to knees, and roll up or come to one side, come all the way up to sitting, and swing around onto your hands and knees. So now our tummies we've done a few things. We are constantly working our core strength throughout our yoga practice. So it doesn't just end there. We're doing it all the time. Press into your child's pose here. Reach your hands forward. We're not here for too long. Let your forehead rest on the ground. See if you can feel into the pads of the fingers, each one of them. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, slide your hands toward your knees, sitting on those heels. Not all of us can sit on the heels without feeling discomfort in the feet, the tops of the feet, maybe the thighs or the knees. You can always put a cushion underneath you or just lift up, because we'll be there anyway. But if you can stay down here, stay down and bring your hands behind your back, lift your heart up and squeeze your shoulder blades together. You're on your fingertips. And you can, if you want to add a little extra, you could pick your bottom off the heels. That stretches out the quads. If this doesn't work for you, you come up off the heels and place your hands on your lower back. We'll be doing that anyway in a second. Let's come back, let's come forward, sit on the heels, and let's lift all the way up into our onto our knees. Take your hands on your lower back, breathe in. And as you breathe out, leaning back into what they call as a camel, stretching out the front line of your body, the chest, opening up the chest and your thighs. And then inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Come up nice and tall. Exhale, dive down, creating that cat stretch all the way down, and the hands, once the hands touch the ground, inhale, slide forward through your cow. And then exhaling, rounding through the spine into your cat, and slide your hands, maintaining that rounded spine, and then lift yourself back up, reaching your arms up to the sky and placing your hands on your sacrum again, your lower back. Breathe in, squeeze your elbows, and lean back. And then inhale, lift your arms up. Let's exhale, dive down again. Let's inhale, slide your hands forward as if you're slithering forward through your cow stretch. Tilt your tailbone up, arch your lower back. Exhaling, rounding up into your cat, and then sliding your hands back towards your knees, lift up, reaching up. This time the hands can stay up and you can lean back with the palms facing one another. And then take a breath in and exhale, diving down.
And then we're going to slide through our cow, and this time curl the toes under, either press back into your child's pose, extended child's pose. You might stay there or follow me, downward dog.
Let's take a few deep breaths here. Breathing in and out. Taking an inhale, lowering the knees to the ground and hovering them for just a moment. Hover and then lower them all the way down to the ground. Keep the toes curled under, press back. Now, if you're going to stay in your tabletop, just do a rock forwards and backwards, or follow me, downward dog. Lift back up and straighten your legs. Take a breath in and lower the knees again. Hover first and then lower down and press back into a child's. Then inhale into your tabletop, lift your knees, and then lift back up, downward dog. From here, bring your left foot in towards your right foot. Lift your right leg behind you. It could be just behind you or up. You can do this on your hands and knees too. You don't have to be in a downward dog. I want you to bring your right knee in towards your nose. So you'll be like this if you're on all hands and knees. Downward dog, you'll be like I am now. And from here, come onto your left toes, downward dog. People, step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee down. Extra padding underneath that left knee is perfectly fine. And then take your hands on your right thigh, right hand and then left hand on top of it. Breathe in and push the knee forward as if you're trying to get the skin to move towards the knee. And then as you do so, I want you to lean back. Soften the shoulders down. Breathe in and breathe out. Take an inhale, lower the hands to the ground. Frame your right foot, curl the back toes under. Step forward, forward fold. Let's find your forward bend. Shake your head no, shake your head yes. Loosening up that head. Taking an inhale, bending the knees, sweeping your arms out to the side. Lift all the way up to standing. Bring your hands to your heart. Take an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, sliding the hands up the shins, pushing into those shins. This is called halfway. Exhaling, stepping back, downward dog. Or extended child's pose, knees down. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Lower the knees down. Hover, hover, hover first. Hover, hover, and then lower down. Everybody, tops of the feet back on the ground. Sit back towards slide your hands towards your knees. Lift back up, and let's do that flow again. Reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, gentle back bend. If this is beginning to get a little sore, your back's getting a little sore, don't do the back bend. Exhale, dive down as if you're diving into a pool of water. Inhale, slide through your cow. And then exhale, curl the toes under, either stay in your all fours or come into your downward dog. For downward dog people, lift your left leg up to the sky. Exhaling, and for all four people, you're reaching it back. Sweep your left knee in towards your nose. So all fours people, knee's gonna be on the ground, and you're going to come onto your toes, downward dog, and then step your left foot forward. Lower your right knee down. So for those who know what to do, you don't have to listen so intently. Left hand on the left thigh, right hand on top of that thigh. I want you to breathe in and push your left knee forward as if you're trying to get rid of that leg. At the same time, you're leaning back, opening up your chest, opening up that whole center of your body. Soften the shoulders down, breathe in. And as you breathe out, place the hands back on the ground, curl the back toes under, step your right foot back, come into a forward bend. Take a breath in, bending the knees. Breathe in and root down first and then rise up. Reach the arms out to the side. This is called swan diving up or swan arms. And exhale, hands to your heart. Sweep the arms back up. Let's interlace the hands at the top of our head. Spin the palms up. And then I'm going to just spin around so you can see what I'm doing here. And stretch over to the right. If you want a little bit more, squeeze the legs together. And then inhale, lift back up. And then exhale, stretch to the left. You can always gaze forward or look towards that top arm. And then inhale, lift back up. Release the hands down. Oops. Now we're going to do our dancer pose, Lord of the Dancers. Okay? Lord of the Dancer. So left foot is your support leg. And what you're going to do is take your right knee, hug it in. You can always have a wall handy if you need a wall to be near. Hug the knee in, you might have, and then you might have just one hand on the leg. This is called a stag pose. And then from here, you're going to kick your right leg back. Take your right hand either on the outside of that right foot, on the top, or inside, depending on how you want your shoulder to be. Knees are now in line with each other. Tailbone lengthens down. Some of us, this is where we stay. Left arm up or on a wall or something, chair. Otherwise, you're going to follow me into the dancer. You're going to lean forward, kick your right foot into that right hand, reach your left arm forward. This is dancer. Breathing in and pausing, but using your breath. Patience. Be patient, be patient. Take an inhale and exhale, lift your left arm back up, lower your right knee down, and just shake it out. And shake out your arms. If this is hard, it is hard. This is not an easy one. So you do the basics. You do just do what you can do. Right foot on the ground, left knee lifts up. So now we're doing the other side. This might be where you might want to stay, right here. Or then now kick your left leg back, left hand outside, top of the foot or inside. I'll do the inside version this time. Knees are in line with one another. You might just stay right here. That's just enough. Enough for you for today. Or follow me into the Lord of the Dancer. Kick that left foot into your left hand, lean forward. Right arm reaches forward but slightly up towards the corner of the ceiling. Soften the shoulders, breathe, breathe, breathe. I can already feel my quads screaming. And then let's bring the knee back and let's lower down and shake it out. The counter pose for this is forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Let's exhale, float down, and let's hang here for a moment in a forward bend. Notice if your heart rate just sped up, which is not unusual for standing poses, all of a sudden, or any kind of balance. Your heart, because it requires a lot of muscle, major muscles. And then from here, I want you to lower onto your knees and press back into a child's pose. Open the knees wide, let the elbows soften down. If you can't place your forehead on the ground, just make a pillow with your hands or put a block underneath your forehead if you have blocks. And just let yourself settle here for just a breath or so. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhaling and exhale. And then walk your hands to your knees. Come onto your right hip. Extend your legs forward. And we're going to stretch over our legs as we warm down. Forward bend. You don't have to straighten your legs. You can keep the knees soft or bent, depending on your flexibility. And if you have any back issues, then always keep your knees bent when you're doing forward bends. So something just to remember in the future, because we did a few forward bends before. Soften down, take a breath in. Because you don't want to tug on that lower back. Let yourself soften here. The breath begins to relax. No need to force the breath. This should feel nice for the backs of your legs after we've just done some major strengthening of the backs of the legs. They were required in order to do those dancer pose and lunges. Now, either legs straight or feet flat on the ground. For those who are new to yoga, I would bend your knees. Otherwise, you can straighten your legs. We're leaning forward, not all the way down, but forward towards our toes. Breathe in. And from here, you're going to hollow out your tummy and slowly lower yourself down. And you can do this with some support. Maybe the hands are behind the knees. And come all the way down to the ground. Reach the arms away from the legs. Wake up stretch. But this is getting us prepared for our Shavasana. Hug your knees into your chest. And bring your forehead to your knees, rounding up into a little bowl, which is good for tummy muscles and back stretches. Open the arms out to the sides and drop your knees to the left. Come all the way down and make sure your right shoulder's resting on the ground. If not, then slide the knees further down towards your hips or towards the bottom of the mat. And turn your gaze to the right, closing the eyes. And then pick your knees back up. Give yourself another hug if you want to bring knees to nose or not, whatever you feel like doing. And then open the arms out to the sides and drop your knees to the right. Turn your gaze to the left. Same thing on this side, left. If the shoulder doesn't relax down or it's lifting up, then just slide the knees further down towards the bottom of the mat. So this little and often approach that I keep talking about is really important to remember, that we do a little bit each day. And 30 minutes, we'll look at Facebook for 30 minutes easily without even realizing it's 30 minutes. But here you are giving yourself 30 minutes of exercise, and regular exercise. One more hug into your chest, and let's extend your left foot to the left corner of the mat, right to the right. And this is called Shavasana if you're not familiar with what this is, why we're lying down. At the end of every yoga class, you take a moment, about 2 to 5 minutes, lying down with the feet about as wide as the mat, arms a few inches from your body with the palms facing up, and chin slightly tucked as if you have an apple between your chin and your chest. And melt into the mat. Let your whole body just melt. Bone by bone, skin by skin, muscle by muscle. Nothing more to worry about or do. Feeling into what we just did to our bodies, all the stretches and the strengtheners and the stretches, all that. Breathing, movement. Gives your body a chance to absorb what just happened. And as you continue on, you continue for the next few minutes. I will come up to seal the practice. It's always good to, when you do eventually come out of Shavasana, that you come up back into your cross-legged seat where we all start our yoga practices, and giving yourself another maybe a few seconds or a minute, 30 seconds to check in with yourself, reclosing the eyes and asking yourself how I feel. So you can notice the difference in how you felt when you first sat down to how you feel now. And it's also just what yoga is a mindful movement. It's meditation, meditating while moving. And as I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal our practice, the practice of patience, that is truly a practice. Learning how to
pause before you react. Pause when you're feeling upset, when you have negative emotions, negative thoughts. Take a moment, take a breath, and then deal with it without just habitually, automatically reacting to it. And the same with your yoga practice. Do the same when you get frustrated when you're just learning, or you're not doing, you fell out of a standing balance. This is how you practice patience. Thank you so much for being with me. Namaste, everyone. And this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And I'll see you soon. Namaste, everyone. Mwah.